Alrighty, good evening. Today I'm going to be taking you through my leg day, my garage gym leg day. Today's going to be big focus on squats and deadlifts, competition style, because that is something that I am going to keep in my programming because I hope to one day compete in powerlifting. So we're going to take a couple heavy sets of squats and probably one top set of deadlift and then do just a couple of accessories. I've been coming back from injury, so it's been a little tricky navigating, exactly how much volume I can handle, how much intensity I can handle. I have a hip flexor thing going on. I got my back thing going on. The back thing's pretty much mostly gone, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Injuries are frustrating. Everyone experiences them at some point in your lifting career. But how you go about it at the end of the day is all you can control. I've seen people come back from a lot worse than anything I've dealt with. So when I see people do that, I say to myself, it ain't that bad. I'm not a competitive lifter yet. I'm not, I don't have a meet date. I don't have anything going on except coming in here, train, trying to get better. So take a step back, look at the perspective of things, appreciate that I have the freedom and time to heal. My warm up, because of the injuries, my warm up has become a little bit more intricate. I got bad ankles from high school, so I like to warm my calves up and my ankles up as much as possible before squatting so I can get more range of motion, more dorsiflexion, so I can stay more upright because I am a high bar squatter. And we'll warm up my glutes really well. We will warm up the back really well, do some decompression, and then do some, adductor and abductor warm-ups just so everything is firing the way it's supposed to be before we start squatting. There's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of time, 10, 15 minutes before you start your workout, warming everything up, making sure everything's feeling good before you actually get under a barbell. It's going to be the safer option. And 9 times out of 10, you probably are going to feel better. I'm going to finish my warm-up, throw some music on, and start squatting. All right, I'm pretty happy with the way that moved. This is 375, 170 kilos. Based on that, I'm going to probably do my top set at 180, which is about 22 more pounds, 408. Maybe a single, maybe a double, maybe a triple. We'll see how it feels. I'm trying to stay as disciplined as possible with not losing tension at the bottom, not rushing anything, not collapsing, trying to make sure everything's moving correctly. When you don't squat for a long time, you tend to forget the motor pattern, and the squat is a very skilled movement. It's very hard to master a squat. So it's going to take some time, but, not going crazy heavy and moving through the movement at a pace that you can handle, at a pace that you're aware of your body and space, is going to pay dividends down the road. So we're going to throw a couple more plates on. We're going to stick with 180 for 2 sets. We'll see about the reps once we get there, and then we'll move on to deadlifts. Cool. So we just finished our second set. We got 4 on that one, which I'm extraordinarily happy with considering I feel good. My hip feels good. My back feels good. Those moved. I just watched them. They moved very well. And I'm really happy with the way my technique was. Didn't rush, didn't dive bomb. And yeah, we're going to move on. Knees feel good. Back feels good. Everything feels good. And we'll try to hit relatively heavy deadlift for one set. Move on to some accessories. One more thing I actually wanted to mention was that one thing I learned from a guy named Max Ada. He's a weightlifting coach, probably the best in the United States, one of the best at least. He's also a powerlifting coach, squat connoisseur. I remember him saying that it's super important for people who are trying to build strength, build absolute strength, not to rely on the stretch reflex in the bottom of a squat. You know, that can go for a bench too. So pausing your bench or doing light touches, you know, coming down, making sure you're hitting that bottom, stopping, and then coming back up, as opposed to relying on the stretch reflex at the bottom. You know, see people descend super slowly, lose all their tension, bounce, and then come back up. I'm not saying that's not efficient. I'm not saying you can't move a lot of weight that way. But he said, if you're trying to build the most absolute strength, it probably is in your best interest to come down, hit that bottom, and come back up and not bounce. So just a little tidbit. That's something I've been trying to improve on. But anyway, enough talk. We'll get this bar down here. We'll start setting up. We'll start warming up. And we'll see what we can do on the deadlift. So fucking light. All right. We decided on 210 for a top set, which is 462 pounds. Single, double, triple, doesn't really matter. Main thing I'm focused on is technique, staying safe, not getting hurt again, reintroducing myself to, you know, more intense loads, heavier weights, introducing myself to heavier weights slowly so that I can start accumulating volume safely so we can get strong again. So I'm going to take a couple more minutes, hit this for one set, and move on. I'll tell you what, there's not really a better feeling than finally being able to come back and lift, you know, some weight again after hiatus. A couple of those reps, I was like, you know, you have in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, your back, or oh, now your hip or your hamstring, or what's going on. And it's just like, you know that everything you did recovery wise, everything you did rehab wise is coming to fruition. And you're like, you're in your head, and then you get that first rep done and you're like, I feel fantastic. You know, lower back feels amazing, feel strong, feel ready for this weight. You know, it's not to say they weren't hard, they were, but that's what we're here for. So I'm feeling good about that. I think we did a triple. That's plenty. We're going to take that, use that as a landmark for the weeks to come. So super happy with that. Next, we're going to do GHD, banded, and then calves. And then that's it. We'll call it a day. Hopefully one day after all these years, we can gain 1 inch on our calves. We will see. Pending. Alrighty, that is leg day. That was the first leg day in a while I can actually say I enjoyed. It's been a while since I've been able to come in here, do the movements I love to do, be actually excited for the first time in a while about training, at least leg wise. I love hitting leg presses and hack squats and leg extensions, stuff like that. But I really have a passion for powerlifting, doing actual squatting, doing actual deadlifting. So really happy with that. I think it just goes to show that if you are patient and if you evaluate yourself, evaluate your injuries, evaluate your lifestyle, evaluate your stressors, evaluate what you're capable of, and you move forward accordingly, then you can come back and resume your regularly scheduled programming. It's been a while, it's been a long time coming. I've been injured for the better part of 4 or 5 months now. So this was probably my first actual heavy squatting and deadlifting day since December. So very, very happy, very relieved, very excited about what's to come. I'm going to take that as a massive win and move forward. That's all we can ever do, is just keep going. Your circumstance, there's no excuse. Deal with what you have to deal with. Be mature. Know yourself. Be honest with yourself. Do what you got to do and come back. So I'm going to eat a big meal tonight. Tomorrow I'm off. And then on Friday, we have a push day. If you made it this far, thank you. And I hope to see you in the next one.